So at the outset, I would like to thank Swati for giving me this opportunity. Can you see my screen?
Yes, madam.
Yeah, okay. So I'll be talking about trabectome technique and my experience. So we have been doing traditional surgeries like trab and tubes successfully over several decades. However, we know that they can be associated with site-threatening complications like, blood, uh, like shallow AC, hypofiltration, and blood-related endophthalmitis or blebitis. Makes being mostly conjunctival sparing maybe reasonably having high safety profile, and especially in patients with mild to moderate glaucomas, wherein we do not want to perform more invasive surgeries. So if you look at this management spectrum of glaucoma, MIGS are performed after utilizing the options of medication and laser. However, in mild to moderate cases, they can be even performed earlier when you are performing the cataract surgery, or if the patient is allergic or toxic to the medication, or cost or non-compliance is an issue. So in India now, we have started focusing on this group, the Schlems canal and trabecular bypass surgeries. And if you look at the anatomy, trabecular meshwork and inner wall of Schlems canal is the site of maximum resistance. So Schlems canal drains into 25 to 35 collector channels, which transmit aqueous to intrascleral and then to the episcleral venous plexus, and they are maximally concentrated on the nasal quadrant. Trabectome is a standalone device and it utilizes a controlled plasma-mediated ablation system. And the advantage of trabectome system is that it has a constant infusion and aspiration, which helps to maintain the chamber and provides good visibility to facilitate ablation by removal of tissue debris and blood reflux. So I think this is very, very important, because when you're ablating, the visibility should be there and you should be able to visualize the tissue you are ablating. The foot plate provides and helps guide the electrosurgical tip and also protects adjacent tissue. So trabectome targets the site of maximum resistance and it achieves the complete removal of diseased trabecular meshwork and Schlems canal inner wall. As you can see, this is before surgery, pre-surgery, and post-surgery. The trabecular meshwork and inner wall of Schlems canal has been removed. And since it's an excisional goniectomy and not incisional goniotomy, it minimizes the chances of risk of scarring and reocclusion of collector channels as the remaining edges of the TM are far apart. So it opens the Schlems canal to the collector channels. There are probes available, the Trabex and Trabex Plus. They are the laser cut serrated blades without irrigation and aspiration, and they are compatible with the phaco machine. So you don't need to buy the trabectome machine. You can just use phaco machine for the irrigation and aspiration with Trabex and Trabex Plus. So I'm just going to show the video. It can be combined with cataract surgery. In fact, the results of MIGS are better when combined with cataract surgery. So before starting the surgery, it is important to adjust the position of microscope and the head of the patient, as has nicely shown. And so before starting the surgery, it's very important to visualize the angle and the trabecular measure which you are going to treat. So it's important to do first gonioscopy before starting the procedure, and the incision is same as the phaco incision on the temporal side. Only thing, it is 1.8 millimeter, and this is the trabectome probe, and it is introduced across the anterior chamber, and the trabecular meshwork is engaged, as you can see here, and then start ablating from one side. And as you ablate, you can see iris falling back, and you can see this white line suggestive of the outer wall of Schlems canal. So you are going along the arch of the Schlems canal, and in a single sitting, you can treat almost 140 to 150 degrees of trabecular meshwork. And then you perform the phaco after doing the trabectome procedure in the usual manner. It's important to clean the blood because there can be oozing of the blood from the treated side. So you can just do a lot of irrigation and aspiration and clear off the blood. So the advantage of combining the procedure is that by the time you have completed phaco, the blood, oozing of blood has already stopped. So this is just to show how you're going to engage it with minimal pressure, gently compress the trabecular meshwork and enter into the Schlemm's canal through the wrinkle in the meshwork and then go along the arch and take out the middle third of the trabecular meshwork along with the inner wall of Schlemm's canal. So this is the kind of first mixed procedure, and a lot of studies and literature is there. And this is the meta-analysis of first decade of trabectome surgery. Almost 4,700 surgeries were followed up for 90 months. And they included first 20 cases of surgeons with trabectome. And these were the survival criteria: IOP less than 21, at least 20% reduction in baseline IOP, and no additional glaucoma surgery. So 66% success in trabectome alone and 85% success in phacotrabectome alone. So it is quite effective with reduction of 36% of intraocular pressure and decreasing in the number of medication by less than 1. Trabectome also works after failed trabeculectomy, and it's been seen that the higher the pressure, the more the reduction of intraocular pressure. So they compared again trabectome and phacotrabectome after the failed trab, and they found that there was reduction in intraocular pressure to a large extent from 24 to 16, and the number of medications also reduced as well. So collector channels do not completely atrophy after even in advanced glaucoma. So they also compared it with Ehmet valve and Barvelt valve, and they compared it by propensity score matching, and they found that the IOP reduction and the reduction in number of medications were almost similar in these studies. So we analyzed data of our 57 patients, and mean age was 48, although the age range was between 6 months to 80 years. And because I operated even congenital glaucomas and JOAG also, along with other diagnosis, including secondary glaucomas, and 35% of the patients had advanced glaucoma. 42% had a combined surgery, and 58% had trabectome alone. And there was a good reduction of intraocular pressure on day 1, and then at 6 months, from 48% at day 1 and 36% 6 months. And number of medications also reduced from 2.18 to 1.91. And we actually got better results in trabectome alone as compared to phacotrabectome, and could be because of the choice of cases. And when we performed trabectome alone, the IOP was really high, so reduction was better. So these are some examples. It really works well in pseudoexfoliation glaucoma. This was one patient who had undergone phacotrab in one eye, and in this eye she underwent phacotrab, and this eye she had mild glaucoma, and she was on 2 medication. And phacotrabectome worked really well in her with a reduction of intraocular pressure from 24 to 11. And in pigmentary glaucoma, this patient also underwent trab in one eye with very advanced glaucoma with an overfiltering bleb and hypotony. And in the other eye, which has not much changes of optic nerve and visual fields, I performed trabectome, and you can see this disappearance of pigment at the site where the trabectome was performed, and that caused reduction of intraocular pressure. And this is, I also performed congenital glaucoma cases. This was one child who presented to us when she was 5 months old with bilateral primary congenital glaucoma, and she was operated both eyes strap plus strap with mitomycin C. One eye did very well. The IOP was reduced and the corneal diameter and axial length stabilized. But in the left eye, and the axial length kept increasing, and the corneal diameter also was increasing. So I decided to perform needling first in this particular patient, and after needling also the bleb didn't form well and the IOP was not controlled. So I decided to do trabectome in this particular patient. You can see this bleb and you can see this high insertion of iris, which is characteristic of congenital glaucoma. So the patient was under lighter anesthesia plane. So you can see this iris bulging forward. And with the ablation, you can see this white line. So the iris back and the procedure was completed. So the patient did extremely well, and the corneal diameter was stabilized and axial length also. So the greatest advantage of MIGS is preservation of conjunctiva for more invasive glaucoma surgeries like trabeculectomy and tube implant can be performed later if required, and thus reducing bleb-related complications. However, we need more evidence to decide best treatment option for these patients. Thank you very much for your kind attention.